Oh, good.
That's basically a rollover.
Yeah, Melissa?
There's a pay raise.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think she likes the GI stuff, so I showed her what we do. She really liked that.
Yeah, we're happy.
She's
No,
she's
Steve's not happy,
incredibly
but
intelligent.
You'll take it.
She talked to Tim a little bit about the job, part-time.
Do what now?
Yeah, she talked to Tim about part-time job.
Oh, yeah?
Learning how to do stuff.
She is
That's what I'm saying.
very intelligent.
It's a pay raise.
Change it, is it?
No. It's basically a rollover contract with a pay raise. We did some housekeeping because they had a reorganization, so we took out some positions and stuff that didn't make sense anymore. Yeah, just language. Took some language out that didn't make any sense because of their reorganization.
This is
No, we don't need to. This is a rollover contract.
Yeah.
They took positions out, not added. Okay.
okay.
Mr. City Manager?
He's, the manager's out of town.
No, you are good manager.
We're trying to find some road projects. but
Yeah,
not too many.
let's go spend some money.
You're getting plenty. We need to hire somebody to field all these questions about what you idiots doing.
Oh, yeah.
Well, the railroad's really hurting us.
Well, yeah, I mean, as soon as we.
notice or
Well, we got,
how much?
Yeah, I really liked her, so.
That's my point. So we have done much about it.
I'll tell you. the
Once I saw her, it's like, I know you,
Based off the number.
I met you 2 or 3 different places. She goes,
Yeah,
yeah,
she's a real sweetheart. She's very,
seems like it.
like I said, she's intelligent, she's a lot of fun, she's a great girl.
He's worked on it, what he years.
She's a good agent, though, yeah.
I think she just got burned out.
Right.
So she got tired of seeing all the bodies. It's like, yeah,
Well,
that would be a problem.
I don't know, but probably got tired of council up there.
Yeah. Probably so.
Things are kind of nervy.
Yeah.
Well, Don used to be on that board, on the OSBI board. Yeah, he was, she said, I got along with him great. I said, he was always a great guy to me.
Yeah.
You know, he was one of my buddies. So I miss him.
But he says.
He kind of always had my back. I mean, if you were in law enforcement, he took care of you. He was on your side.
Hopefully, rather.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, then, Steve sends me an email.
But there's a lot of those guys up there that, oh, he's not. We got 4. No, Mark's in San Antonio at the NLC, which I didn't know about it till the day
Mark's in San Antonio.
at the National League of Cities. Yeah, I didn't know anything about it. Did you guys? I missed that memo.
Okay, so is David gonna be here?
I don't think so. So I think this is it.
No,
I just asked that contract with, at the last, we're gonna need to go to executive session. You guys are gonna approve it. It's a rollover contract, the same deal we got last year. So they eliminated 2 positions.
Oh, I'm sure.
Phil Mars okay with
We're
that.
gonna have to put that over fast there.
They need to.
How and when.
Well, maybe.
But now I got nothing to tell them.
Yeah, we got him
I'm gonna wait a minute and see if David shows up. You know if David Robertson showing up?
now.
No, I don't. I haven't talked to Dave.
Okay, we'll give him a couple minutes.
Nothing you need a supervisor for.
No, it's pretty simple stuff. It's like,
I know, he's called me, I'm not so sure that he goes down. I keep going,
yeah, when I looked at this with Steve, there was 10 items on your total.
That didn't look like it's me.
And I got it this morning.
When you got in
It's
there.
like, wait a minute, there's 14 items on here. This one,
Yeah.
I like her on that, so.
let's see.
Like I said, at least for a year or 2. I got my
This one right here. It's coming up.
pretty good 5 minutes ago.
And I told Steve, I said, Steve,
get all the.
We don't have to pay for this.
Hello.
The bank is. He says, no, they have software. And I said, I do. And I said,
Hello, Dave.
I said, we get the bank. And once we run
Yeah,
$4 million through there.
But I mean, I don't think there's
Yeah.
Anyway, it's gone in town.
too controversial.
I'd like to look into it first. It's not a budget.
Well, we can table it. Look at it.
Would you?
Okay, 51 minutes there.
It is
Is, Steve with
5.
No.
Would you call the roll, please?
Robert Kraus,
Till next week.
Jason Blair,
Here.
Scott Singer, Terry Kavner, David Roberts, Mark Ham, Glenn Lewis.
Here. Would you please join me for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Item 2 is a consent docket. Item A is receive and approve the minutes of the regular city council meeting held November 3rd, 2014. Item B is renew memorandum of understanding with Heritage College Veterinary Technology Training Program to provide veterinary technology training opportunities for students and to provide additional animal care at the Moore Animal Shelter. Item C, approve and ratify claims and expenditures for FY 2014-2015 in the amount of $3,055,958.40.
Move to approve.
All right, thank you. Thank you both. Everybody get their claims, questions answered, or any notes or changes to the minutes? If not, we have a motion and a second. Would you call for the vote?
Jason Blair,
Yes.
Scott Singer,
Yes.
Terry Kavner,
Yes.
David Roberts,
Yes.
Glenn Lewis.
Yes, item carries. Item number 3 is consider approval of an agreement with the Center for Economic Development Law to provide legal consulting services for review and analysis of any proposed redevelopment projects or similar projects permitted under Oklahoma law.
Mayor and council, this is the firm that we used for the Cleveland Heights possibility of condemnation. And the reason this item's on the agenda this evening is, if necessary, with the land acquisition that could occur through the HUD funding, we felt like it was better to have this firm under a contractual agreement with the HUD regulations than to wait. And if we got in that predicament, then try to hire a firm. And this is the same firm we used in Cleveland Heights.
Okay. Anybody want to make a motion?
Make a motion to approve.
All right, thank you. Thank you, Bill. We have a motion and a second. Anyone opposed to this? If not, would you call for the vote, please?
Scott Singer,
Yes.
Terry Kavner,
Yes.
David Roberts,
Yes.
Jason Blair,
Yes.
Glenn Lewis.
Yes, item carries. Item number 4 is consider approval of the job description for the new position, GIS and analyst and placement in the pay range 64 of the non-union pay table to replace the previous position of associate planner GIS.
Mayor and Council, this is a position that's already been approved in the budget from last year. It was filled in about 2 months ago by a transfer from community development. And so the job description just needs your approval.
So we're not moving anybody over, we're just...
We did move somebody over from
Fine.
community development, yes.
Okay. We already moved them then.
That's correct.
All right, thank you. Okay, we have a do we have a motion?
Move to approve.
All right, thank you.
Second.
Thank you. We have a motion and a second. Any comments or questions on this item? You said it was approved in the budget?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Who was it?
Kent Salmon,
Okay.
moved Kent Salmon from community development to IT and a change in job description.
Okay, good move. All right, with that said, would you call for the vote, please?
Terry Kavner,
Yes.
David Roberts,
Yes.
Jason Blair,
Yes.
Scott Singer,
Yes.
Glenn Lewis.
Yes, item carries. Item number 5 is consider approval of upgrades to the city information technology system in an estimated amount of $94,000 in order to comply with the new payment card industry compliance rules for acceptance of debit credit card transactions and supplement the budget accordingly.
Mayor and Council, this item is for various software and hardware that is necessary to keep current with the PCI, or in other words, credit card payment industry. The new regulations go into effect January 1st of 2015, and in order to stay in compliance, we need to upgrade our computer networking system. For your information, we process about $14 million worth of credit cards or debit cards a year. And it's our responsibility to secure that credit card from the time that we swipe it to the time it leaves our firewall. This is just in order to stay in compliance.
Now, the manager and I talked about this earlier when we first put this on a couple weeks ago. We were working to see if we could get, since we process millions of dollars through this thing, if the bank wouldn't take care of this and pay it. And when I originally saw this, it was $82,000. Yesterday it was 93, or yeah, this morning it was 93. Now it's 94. So it keeps going up. And why wouldn't we bid this out?
This is multiple items, so it's not one particular. It's not one item. This is a new firewall that we would have to have with some new items that we don't currently have. A new accounting software for tracking what's actually going on with the firewall and bringing it all together for the auditors. We need to have two-factor authentication for any wireless devices that connect, or any VPNs that connect to our network. So there's multiple aspects of this. That's why it's not one particular bid. It's a multi-part.
So does it all come from the same software vendor? Or?
No, we'll have to get different quotes for it, but it wasn't so much. The highest one that I've got is the auditing software, which was about $30,000. With the quotes that I've got right now, the cheapest one was $30,000. And that requires 3 bids, but does not require to go out for 3 quotes for that, but does not require to go out for bid for that.
Okay. I'm still not clear on what the software does and why the bank doesn't pay this. I mean, I take millions of dollars of credit cards at my work, and the bank pays 100%.
We are responsible to pay from the time that we take a credit card. We're responsible for that information until it leaves our control, which basically means hits the internet or leaves our firewall. So if we were taking the old paper cards where you swipe and do have the receipts, we would still be responsible for that. As a matter of fact, that is part of what the PCI regulations cover, is even paper, receipts. So you have to be responsible for not keeping the entire credit card number, disposing of it. If you do, how you make sure you dispose of all this stuff correctly. So it's the PCI regulations. While what I'm asking for is computer related, it is all encompassing for everything. It's all about credit cards. We are responsible for everything that happens inside of our network.
Who regulates this?
It's a self-regulating. PCI is a payment card industry. They are the regulatory. It's not a. They're self-regulating. So MasterCard, Visa, American Express, Discover, all the big names go together, and they are the ones that created this regulations that says that you have to be in compliance with this. So it's a self-regulating. There's the fines are put in place not from a government regulatory, but from themselves. And then the ultimate slap is then you aren't allowed to take credit card or debit card payments.
Well, the state of Oklahoma Consumer Credit Department is the one who regulates credit cards in the state of Oklahoma. So I don't see where PCI comes into play. I mean, how is it that they're now in charge of that when there's a government agency in charge of it?
The PCI compliance is the credit card, let's say MasterCard or Visa. They give it to a credit card processing. Currently, we use ETS as our credit card processing. The credit card, ETS then processes that for us. We send a credit card number to them to be processed. And they are the ones that then send it on to MasterCard. What we have to do is be in compliance with this, with these regulations, we have to be in compliance with this regulations, or ETS will not process the credit cards for us.
Okay.
So this is determined by, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Is this mostly like security stuff?
This is very much security stuff. This is this very much security stuff, yes.
I just know that I got new cards because of Target, and I got new cards because of Home Depot, so I know it's a big deal. So it does need to be right.
Yes, the new regulations came into effect, and obviously being Target and Home Depot and JP Morgan that all got hit in the past 3 months, obviously all those play a part in making sure that we are.
Well, I guarantee even if you had this, if you were hit by the same people that hit Target and Home Depot, this wouldn't help you either.
It may not, but it may help somebody. It may get the next guy down. And let's face it, Moore is also big in the news right now, and so trying to stay on
The
board.
other question, is it a budgeted item?
No, it is not.
And is this is obviously dictated, or is it my misimpression that this is dictated by private industry?
Yes.
Yes, what?
Yes, it is dictated by private industry.
Okay, that's what I was looking for. Thank you.
Anyway, it's mandatory for us to do this by January 1st to be legal with the credit card company.
But it's not
We don't have
mandatory.
a choice.
It's not mandatory from a government agency. It's an
Not-
independent private agency.
That is correct.
So I don't know how that could be mandatory for a municipality.
But what you're saying, you're saying is though if we don't do it, then we can't take a Visa card. Doesn't matter what the state says. Visa says we're not taking our card, we're not taking MasterCard, we're not taking.
Because we're not in compliance with their standards.
Right.
So they can't.
So our customers can't use a credit card.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is that right?
That is true. That is
That's really a
absolutely
question more than a
But
statement.
the point is, no, it's not a government agency that is mandating it. It's a private industry. But MasterCard and Visa are the private industry, and they're saying if you are not in compliance with our regulations, then you will not take our credit cards.
But they still charge us 2.5%, right?
That is correct.
I don't understand why they don't pay for that if they're getting the money out of it. So,
Just wish we
Well, there's two different things here. One, what we're talking about is basically Visa, MasterCard up here. The people that charge us a percentage on taking our cards is the company that we have contracted in to process those cards. It could be a bank, but in this case, it's just
It's the credit card processing. ETS is a credit card processing company. MasterCard and Visa is who makes the regulations. We just have to, and in order to keep interacting with ETS or the credit card processing, any credit card processing, you have to be in the MasterCard, in compliance with the MasterCard and Visa regulations, which is PCI.
well, I just find it weird. It's like the first requirement of the PCI is to create a DMZ, a demilitarized zone, separating the internet from the city of Moore's network. I mean, that in itself is weird, strange wording to me for a private company. So, that's the first part of the contract.
That is me, that was my wording.
Okay.
I've got the exact wording if you want to see it. But the exact wording is exactly that, is to create one of the items. I mean, this is a book that I've got that's 200 pages. One of the items is to have have two firewalls with a with a DMZ between them.
Okay.
And that DMZ is to handle.
Next question is to Jim. Jim, do we have the money for this?
Yes, it would come out of the contingency fund of the general fund. If you approve it, it
That's for
would.
council member projects.
If you approve it, that's where it would come from.
12 years, I've been.
Yeah. We've never, it's never has any money because everybody keeps getting it. Okay, anybody want to make a motion?
I make a motion to approve.
Second.
All right, thank you both. Okay, we have a motion and a second. Would you call for the vote?
David Roberts,
Yes.
Jason Blair,
Yes.
Scott Singer,
Yes.
Terry Kavner,
Yes.
Glenn Lewis.
Yes, item carries. Item number 6 is consider awarding bid number 1415-003, purchase and installation of fencing for girls softball fields to Allstate Fence Company in the amount of $110,325, Parks and Recreation.
Thank you, Mayor. Mayor and Council, this is the first project that we'll do at Buck Thomas Athletic Complex using the quarter-cent park sales tax. This project is to replace some very old fencing out there associated with the girls softball fields, all 6 fields. The total that you have before you, $110,325, includes the base bid plus 3 alternates. The alternates, we think, add value, quality, and life to the project, and those 2 of those 3 were mentioned at the pre-bid that we had. The contractors really suggested those 2 of those 3 alternates. Staff's recommendation is that the bid go to Allstate Fence. They're $69 higher than the lowest bid. The lowest bid is Rock Valley. They're out of Illinois. They would come from Illinois to do the project. Allstate is local. We've done several projects with them over the last few years. We think service after the install is critical, and this is a very tight frame or time frame that we had to do this project. So we think a local contractor is the best. We've checked all references with Allstate. Again, we've done 5 or 6 projects within the last few years. So our recommendation is that we go with Allstate Fence in the amount before you. And with that, I'll be happy to take any questions.
My question's for Randy. Randy, can we do that since it's not the lowest bid, but is deemed the best?
Yes, sir, by articulating the reasons why.
We do know it gets windy around here, and somebody local to put it back up would be good.
Plus they've done, they are local, they're here, they can get out, get it fixed quickly. And from what Mr. Jensen said, they've done a lot of projects for us before that the city's very happy.
Okay. We also have a resolution in place that says if it comes down on the bid and it's local versus not, and it's within reason, then we take the local bid. So it's been in place for a long time.
Move to approve.
All right, thank you.
Second.
Thank you both. We have a motion and a second. Would you call for the vote?
Jason Blair,
Yes.
Scott Singer,
Yes.
Terry Kavner,
Yes.
David Roberts,
Yes.
Glenn Lewis.
Yes, item carries. Item number 7 is consider approval of the job description for the new position of Recreation Center Supervisor and approve placement in the pay range 57 of the non-union pay scale.
Thank you, Mayor. Mayor and Council, this is a new position associated with the new Recreation Center. This is a budgeted position. We shared information with you, if you recall, at one of our budget study sessions back in May or June. This will be the first position that we hire. The pay range is 57. With that, I'll be happy to take any questions.
Is this a budgeted item?
Yes, this is a budgeted position.
Okay, when will this new recreation center be done?
It will be done early next fall if the schedule that we project is maintained and there's no significant weather delays, no construction delays. It should be next October.
Do you intend to hire somebody that can walk into this?
Yeah.
Ready to go?
The time schedule is pretty critical. This is the most important position with the new recreation center. We want this person to be in on the ground floor with developing the operations, hiring staff, and to do programming, and to also lay out the operations manuals and all those kinds of things. And then also one of the things that this position will do, this person will do, will be to be involved in our winter basketball league, and we're getting ready to start that this December. So they won't start at that time, but they'll start sometime in January. So we want them to have some experience running our basketball league, working with staff, the coaches, and all those kinds of things. So it's an early hire. It's the earliest one that we'll do. The next one will be much later in the year. So,
Do you on this position? Let's see. Do you anticipate moving somebody within, or is this going to be an outside field?
We really don't know. I think it'll be an outside person.
Oh, okay, so you don't have anybody in mind?
No,
yet?
no, that's
Okay.
right.
All right. Do we have a motion?
Move to approve.
Okay, thank you. Sorry. Thank you. Appreciate it. Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any other discussion?
If not, would you call for the vote?
Scott Singer,
Yes.
Terry Kavner,
Yes.
David Roberts,
Yes.
Jason Blair,
Yes.
Glenn Lewis.
Yes, item carries. Item number 8 is consider approval of an agreement between the Oklahoma Department of Transportation and the cities of Moore and Norman for participation in a jointly funded traffic study on the I-35 corridor from South 4th Street to Tecumseh Road with the cities of Moore's portion not to exceed $75,000.
Mayor and council, there has been one change. The study actually goes to Robinson instead of Tecumseh Road, and that change was made by ODOT. This partnership began probably 9 months ago, maybe a year.
Yeah, it was in your...
The city of, Glenn and I went to a meeting at the city of Norman, ODOT, and ourselves and the county commissioners were there. And the discussion was about really two section line roads, Indian Hills Road and our 34th Street. And out of that discussion, there was an agreement, verbal agreement that was made that we would send out RFPs for engineering firms to do a traffic study along that I-35 corridor. And ODOT would pay 50% of that study, and the city of Norman and the city of Moore would split the other 50% equally. And since that time, they've solicited RFPs from, firms, and most of them, 75% of them are here in Oklahoma. There is a couple that are out of state. There was approximately 10 to 12 firms who submitted their proposals. I'm actually on that selection committee. There's Sean O'Leary with the city of Norman, and then Tim Tiegler with ODOT, and then there'll be another engineer that hasn't been named yet, also from ODOT. That'll interview these firms. Right now, I've submitted my short list, and eventually we'll wind up, hopefully by the February or March Transportation Commission meeting, we'll have a recommendation for the commission to approve one of those firms to conduct that study along the corridor. And that will definitely be a benefit to our city and Norman as well, because that's going to show the need. If there's any questions, I'll be glad to answer them.
Is this the kind of study that you couldn't show the need for the ramps?
Off-ramps,
34?
right. Yeah, we had to do this study in order to prove the need for the off-ramps. Stan and Todd and I had breakfast with Gary Ridley and who's the new head of ODOT?
Mike Patterson.
Mike Patterson, thank you. And this morning to go over this, and basically he told us that was the way we get the off-ramps. And basically when we went to that meeting about a year ago, we about fell out of our chair because ODOT never offers to pay for anything, and they offer to pay for half. And I know Norman was just as surprised as we were. So they articulated to us this morning that they're interested in redoing that whole area down through there to make sure that everything's in place, because first time I'd heard it this morning, and I think you guys heard it too, that you cannot widen I-35 anymore. It's as wide as it's ever going to get. So anything that they do now has to be off the service roads. So they need to study to complete that. If we want to do any kind of interchanges in the future, that study has to be started now. And it may not get completed if you do interchanges in my lifetime, but it'll eventually get there. You have to start the process.
So needless to say, we need to approve this.
Yes.
It would be very helpful. So,
If we ever
yeah.
want to see another interchange and more, this is the beginning.
I make a motion to approve.
All right, thank you.
Terry, before you take a vote on this, I think you should have a motion to amend the agenda item 3 from South 4th Street to Robinson.
Okay, all right.
And then with that change, that proposal, if that passes, then move on.
So I'll make that motion, that we amend the motion to read Robinson rather than Tecumseh.
Okay, thank you.
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Would you call for that, Bart? If there's no other discussion, please.
Terry Kavner,
Yes.
David Roberts,
Yes.
Jason Blair,
Yes.
Scott Singer,
Yes.
Glenn Lewis.
Yes, excuse me, yes. Item carries. Okay, now, Do we have a motion to consider approval of the agreement between the Oklahoma Department of Transportation and the cities of Moore and Norman for participation in a jointly funded traffic study on the I-35 corridor from South 4th Street to Robinson Street within the city of Moore's portion not to exceed $75,000?
That's so moved.
Okay, thank you both. Any other discussion? If not, would you call for the vote, please?
David Roberts,
Yes.
Jason Blair,
Yes.
Scott Singer,
Yes.
Terry Kavner,
Yes.
Glenn Lewis.
Yes, item carries. Thank you, Randy. Item number 9 is consider approval of an easement, approval of an agreement with Traffic Engineer Consultants Incorporated to provide intersection widening and signal modification engineering plans at Southwest 4th and Telephone and South 19th and Tower / Broadway Drive in the amount of $38,500.
Mayor and council, these two projects were identified with that latest traffic study. If you remember, Steve Hoffner was here probably 4 to 6 weeks ago, giving you the results of what that study reflected. And staff would recommend we approve this contract with TEC. We feel like 19th and Tower is going to be worse when we finish that project there on 19th Street, east side of I-35. We're going to be moving a lot faster traffic toward that intersection. And then when they rebuilt the little strip center there on 4th and Telephone, we acquired additional right-of-way there on that southeast corner. And probably 3 years ago, we created that right turn lane only for the eastbound traffic there at that intersection, but that's not enough. There's significant increase in the volume of traffic at that intersection, so staff would recommend we approve this project where we can move forward with the engineering and hopefully sooner than later start the construction.
And one of the reasons, just so you guys know, a couple of you guys don't know this probably, we have to have the engineering to apply for the ODOT grants and ACOG grants and funding. And some of this stuff we can apply for some emergency funding and actually get this money back, but you can't do anything until you have it engineered. So that's just their ground rules. So just kind of give you an idea of why we do so much engineering stuff. Do we have a motion?
Motion to approve.
All right, thank you.
Second.
Okay, thank you. We have a motion and a second. Any other comments or questions on this item? No, call for vote.
Jason Blair,
Yes.
Scott Singer,
Yes.
Terry Kavner,
Yes.
David Roberts,
Yes.
Glenn Lewis.
Yes, item carries. Item number 10 is consider awarding bid number 1415-002, purchase of a custom pumper for the Moore Fire Department to the lowest and most responsible bidder.
Mayor and council, this is a budgeted item. We only had two companies submit bids. It was E1 Chief Fire and Safety out of Chickasha and Pierce, which are both very reputable companies. We would recommend that we go with Chief Fire and Safety out of Chickasha. We currently have 5 E1 apparatus. We've had real good luck with them. The total price to Chief Fire and Safety would be $406,461. That includes options 1, 3, and 4. And this is $32,744 less than Pierce.
Okay. None of y'all's toys are cheap.
But we get 20 years life out of it.
Yeah, it goes pretty quick. So,
Yeah.
the what was the one you told me the other day? Was it going to be $1 million?
The ladder truck is
The
in next
ladder
year's
truck.
budget. It's a 100-foot ladder though, Mayor. The ones
Jeez.
we have now currently are 75, and we need to move to 100 because everything in this town's getting bigger and further back from the road. And yes, it's over $1 million.
Man, I went up that 50-foot one time, thought I was going to die. Okay. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
All right, thank you.
Second.
All right, thank you. We have a motion and a second. Let's call for the vote.
Scott Singer,
Yes.
Terry Kavner,
Yes.
David Roberts,
Yes.
Jason Blair,
Yes.
Glenn Lewis.
Yes, item carries.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chief. At this time, we'll recess the city council meeting and convene the Moore Public Works Authority meeting. Item number 11 is the consent docket. Item A is receive and approve the minutes of the regular Moore Public Works Authority meeting held November 3rd, 2014. Item B, approve and ratify claims expenditures for FY 2014-2015 in the amount of $596,820.26. Everybody get your claims questions answered or any notes or changes to the minutes? Do we have a motion?
Make a motion to approve.
All right, thank you.
Second.
Thank you. Do we have a motion and a second? Would you call for the vote, please?
Terry Kavner,
Yes.
David Roberts,
Yes.
Jason Blair,
Yes.
Scott Singer,
Yes.
Glenn Lewis.
Yes, item carries. Item number 12 is consider renewal of a contract for collection of commercial solid waste and allied waste services / Republic Services for a 5-year term with the option of 1 5-year renewal beginning January 1st, 2015.
Mayor and council, this contract is just like the current contract, and the reason there's no price included with this agenda item, it'll be based off of the consumer price index in January. But other than that, it's just a carryover of the existing contract.
And I have to say one thing, these guys were so good to us during the tornado. I just really appreciate everything they did for us. And I have no interest in their company, or I don't really know anybody in the company anymore, but they did a really good job for us. I just
They
wanted to
saved
say
us
that.
a lot of time allowing
Yes.
us
They get direct.
to create that own way station, saved a lot of time.
That big mountain is made out of 2 cities of more, so it really is.
I make a motion to approve it.
Okay, thank you.
Second.
Thank you. Any other discussion on this? If not, would you call for the vote, please?
David Roberts,
Yes.
Jason Blair,
Yes.
Scott Singer,
Yes.
Terry Kavner,
Yes.
Glenn Lewis.
Yes, item carries. Yeah, instead of Mountain Work, I think we should call it Mountain Work. That's pretty good. Item number 13 is consider approval of a request to provide sanitation services, excluding the big trash service for residents of Miller's Acre Addition, located east of Sooner Road and north of Indian Hills.
Mayor and council, I haven't talked to anyone in this subdivision, but Steve has been talking to them in the last couple of weeks. They've made this request. I'm not for certain who the company was that was serving that neighborhood, but for some reason, that contract is terminated, and they have requested to be on our sanitation service. I spoke with Richard Sandifer. We have the resources to handle it. We pick up Belmar, and that neighborhood's growing every month. So, and this subdivision is a 1/4 mile east of Sooner Road, right on the north side of Indian Hill Road. So, we've never contracted with any individuals or neighborhoods outside of our city limits, so there's no policy or ordinance in place for a fee structure. However, we charge our citizens for 1 cart $9.50 a month, and for 2 carts $15.25.
We actually do have an ordinance.
We do?
Yeah, it covers outside city limits. We did it to a church over off of Santa Fe.
That's for water.
That was for water, but it was under
Right.
services.
Well, we could possibly look at that and come up with a proposed rate. I guess what we need to know this evening, is there any interest from council to pursue this? If there is, then we can do the research and come up with, like you said, Mayor, we'll make for certain there's not an existing ordinance. I wasn't
I
aware
don't
of
have a
one.
problem with them.
I don't have any problem with it, so if we need to approve this motion, get moving, why?
None of those people vote for us, so
Yeah.
you can do it either way. No, I'm kidding. But I don't know anybody over there either, so.
Randy, the way that's worded, would they table this until the next agenda? It's,
Well, we can approve the request, and then we can come up
Okay.
with the agreement with them and setting the rates.
okay.
Participation.
Well, we can use the same rates. It's not, I mean, 1/4 mile is not gonna affect anybody, I don't think. But we just don't want it ended up on the side of the road somewhere.
Well,
They can't burn it, so.
no, there's other entities abutting our city limits that are actually what everyone calls no-man lands. And we've had conversation with the Blue Lakes neighborhood at an earlier point in time. They never pursued it, but there could be more to come.
As long as it's not costing us money, I'm okay with it.
No, there's no cost.
It's not, you know, always help make a little money off of it.
Yeah. Works for me. Anybody want to
My
make a motion?
thought is, you know, they're probably not, what am I gonna say? They're not financing any of the capital costs.
Right.
And,
Yeah, I'm with you on that. I'm also sure that there shouldn't be a little
higher
higher
rate.
rate, because they aren't paying for anything else. in
Yeah,
town.
that's true.
And it shouldn't be the same as what I'm paying here.
Right.
Not that I have no problem with us doing it, I just think there ought to be an upcharge. You know, what was the water, double?
Yeah, the water
Yes.
is double.
Yeah. I
So
think it
there's,
was.
there's kind of a precedent for that.
Yeah.
It'd still be, what, $20 if it was
It'd
double.
be $19.
19?
I'm not even saying double, I mean.
Yeah, somewhere
it'd be
higher.
fine, but something
I agree.
higher than normal.
yeah, I don't wanna make it unreasonable, but.
Sure.
Yeah, absolutely not.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. That's a good point. Hadn't thought of that. Okay, we can do that. Anybody want to make a motion to approve the request for service?
I'll make that motion.
Okay. Let me ask Randy something. Can we do that under the charter?
Yeah, we have the ability to provide services outside.
Okay. Okay. You made the motion. Anybody make a second?
Second.
Okay, thank you. Okay, we have a motion and a second. Would you call for the vote, please?
Jason Blair,
Yes.
Scott Singer,
Yes.
Terry Kavner,
Yes.
David Roberts,
Yes.
Glenn Lewis.
Yes. And I guess we'll come back later to establish the rates or whatever. Okay, at this time, we'll recess the Moore Public Works Authority meeting and convene the Moore Risk Management meeting. Item number 14 is the consent docket. Item A is receive and approve the minutes of the regular Moore Risk Management meeting held November 3rd, 2014. Item B, approve payment of a court-ordered workers' compensation settlement in the amount of $37,145 to Kevin Pitts for claim number 2014-01153L and authorize placement on the property tax rolls and supplement the budget accordingly. Item C, approve and ratify claims and expenditures for FY 2014-2015 in the amount of $191,527.73.
Move to approve.
All right, thank you.
Second.
Thank you both. We have a motion and a second. Any other discussion on these? Are we get the claims questions answered? If not, would you call for a vote, please?
Scott Singer,
Yes.
Terry Kavner,
Yes.
David Roberts,
Yes.
Jason Blair,
Yes.
Glenn Lewis.
Yes, item carries. At this time, we'll recess the Moore Risk Management meeting and convene the Moore Economic Development Authority meeting. Terry?
Okay, item 15 is the roll call. Would you call the roll, please?
Robert Kraus, Jason Blair,
Here.
Scott Singer,
Here.
Glenn Lewis,
Here.
David Roberts,
Yes.
Mark Ham,
Here.
Terry Kavner.
Here. Item 16 is the consent docket. Item A is receive and approve the minutes from the regular Moore Economic Development Authority meeting October 20th, 2014. A motion to approve.
Move to approve.
Is there a second?
Second.
Would you call the roll, please?
David Roberts,
Yes.
Jason Blair,
Yes.
Scott Singer,
Yes.
Glenn Lewis,
Yes.
Terry Kavner.
Yes. This time we will recess the Moore Economic Development Authority meeting and reconvene the city council.
All right, thank you. Let the record show that all the members that were present before are still present. Item A is citizens forum for items not on the agenda. There's no one signed up. Would anyone like to speak? Okay. Any items from the city council or trustees? Okay. That's pretty quick. Item C is any items from the city manager.
Just a couple of things, update on our road closures. First off, I'd like to apologize to all the citizens. But next week we will remove all of our equipment off of 19th Street east of I-35. There could be some work ongoing behind the curb lines with the drainage work. However, we will not be on that roadway again until after the holidays, and we do appreciate your patience. And with the 4th Street closure there at the railroad crossing, that's actually not a City of Moore project. It's in our city limits. However, that's a state highway. So ODOT is doing the road work and Burlington Northern is doing the rail improvements. They're replacing that grade crossing there, which we've had numerous complaints throughout the past year, and we felt like the citizens would appreciate that. You can still use Tower Drive for the detour there at 19th. You'll just have to work your way up to Main Street. But again, we apologize. We have that east side of town fairly paralyzed, and we're aware of that. And I had a conversation with Burlington Northern Friday afternoon, and they didn't promise me, but they assured me they would do everything in their power to get that open midweek. So maybe another day or two, and we'll have 4th Street open. That's all, Mayor.
Okay. All right. Item 18 is executive session. Section 307, Title 25 Oklahoma statutes permits the public body to meet in executive session for certain specified reasons under certain specified conditions. It is the opinion of the city attorney that the city council may consider and adopt a motion to meet in executive session to discuss the following item. Item A, consider approval of the fiscal year 2014-2015 contract between the City of Moore and the IAFF Local 2047 as authorized by 25 Oklahoma statutes 307B-2.
Make a motion to go to the executive session.
Okay.
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Would you call the vote, please?
Jason Blair,
Yes.
Scott Singer,
Yes.
Terry Kavner,
Yes.
David Roberts,
Yes.
Glenn Lewis.
Yes, we are convened to executive session.
Hey, here. I saw him yesterday coming out of office, and then he does it, funeral prayers every now and then.
Time to get earning money, buddy.
Put short in it.
About how it's feeling on well.
That's not good. Supposedly moved on or over, I'm not sure. Anyway, but then Ray went back to work. I was going to tell you, this is good. David. I only had 2 really qualified as on committees. Unless someone seems to be.
Do what?
And I don't know, but I've met her a couple times. I want to see if you guys want to go to lunch sometime. This week or so. I'm sure, I don't know, but her even her. Yeah. Yeah, she would be a good asset for what we do. She seems. The doctor gave Charlie the other day, he doesn't like Richard's like, I'm in the same situation. Besides that, Charles, what's the that's why we get our so he would be chairman probably. Yeah. Well, that's. I don't know. That would be a good choice. He would like that better, I think. Yeah. So that's what he's. I think that's a good plan. Run that by you guys.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good. Yeah. If it works out, I'd love to. Okay.
there's both, I mean, one.
That one's deadly.
One truck.
That one's deadly. There's two in there that are deadly. That one chair here has been replaced. That one chair has been replaced because Rick Roberto pissed in one night before.
Only one person? I mean, here's the kicker, only one person did this in their report?
Well, if we could actually see and knew they did it.
So the answer is move up to just open session.
I don't know, you go back there and not roll back. I don't know anything about that stuff.
Maybe. But here's the kicker, I've read through this enough times that it's, if he's not doing it in his office, he should.
Unless he's going to phone line, and then we're touching his network call. Which is possible.
But even so, he still falls under the PCI compliance, he just doesn't have to follow a pure rules, he just does follow all the document training and all the rules. That's what it sounds like. They're going to the cash. I'm just saying, and I get his point, it's not a government regulation. You're absolutely right.
The government sometimes we have to do it.
The government sometimes we have to do it.
The credit card, it's the same thing, we've never taken the credit cards. Even though it was still on board all along, he just wanted to make his point. I think we should have.
I think he was just way down here on the more scenarios. He just.
Well, I think it's on board that maybe he wants some questions. So we're asking him about it, so this, that's what. I'm not serious, I forget to be up on $25. Well, they do, they need you.
How are you, Matt?
Matt, you all right, bud? Might get into trouble though. They're very skilled. Better not do that.
So if you think there's anybody to, the next chair?
I just talked to Tony Dave, going, this Melissa Hunt, I think she's gonna be our it's kind of like they said, we've met her, we kind of know her, but we don't think she'll do good. Everything that we have talked to everybody about, that she won't go. She's been on the phone, she's doing it, and take very well, makes good decisions. Unless something happens, you don't want it. So, we're getting close. We're just being ridiculous. It's hard to replace you. I bet. I'm sure you do.
Like, are you kidding me?
Yeah, I can relate to that.
And it's not more.
Yeah. Would you call the roll back, please?
Scott Singer,
Yes, here.
Terry Kavner,
Here.
David Roberts,
Here.
Jason Blair,
Here.
Glenn Lewis.
Here. At this time, do we have a motion on the item to consider approval of the contract between the City of Moore and the IAFF Local 2047 is authorized?
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to make a motion to approve that. And, you know, particularly based on our negotiators' comments, you know, that we have some of the finest bumper polishers in the country as part of that group. So I want to see us approve this.
I think that's what you call throwing them under the bus.
I think you got thrown under the engine.
Engine truck, yeah, they're big, it's bigger than a bus. Yeah. Do we have a second?
Second.
All right, we do appreciate our police officers and our firemen. And we have a motion and a second. Would you call for the vote on this?
Terry Kavner,
Yes.
David Roberts,
Yes.
Jason Blair,
Yes.
Scott Singer,
Yes.
Glenn Lewis.
Yes. Item carries. Item 19 is adjourned.
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Would you call for the vote, please?
David Roberts,
Yes.
Jason Blair,
Yes.
Scott Singer,
Yes.
Terry Kavner,
Yes.
Glenn Lewis.
Yes, we are adjourned.
Now I guess I need to go out and look both ways to be sure. Fire truck doesn't get it.
Wait, I hope your tree don't catch on fire.